Hi there, welcome to the Fierce Factor podcast. I'm your host, Kaylee Lindholm. And I think it's time for us women to shift the conversation in business and step into our feminine leadership to do the most iconic work the aesthetic industry has ever seen. Each week, I'll be bringing a powerful dose of strategy, sarcasm, solutions, and sass that will rev up your creativity and ignite your brilliance as you link arms with me along our shared path of personal and professional growth in 20 minutes or less. Let's go. Hello, Fierce Factor leader. Thank you for tuning in today. I am your host, Kaylee Lindholm, the founder of the Pop Aesthetic Leadership Academy, where we help aesthetic and wellness business owners build deeply satisfying, lucrative, freedom-based businesses that stand the test of time by disrupting the status quo. In fact, so much of the powerful work our Academy members are doing is really reimagining what status even means, meaning growth is personal and what you should be striving for in your business is completely individual. Perhaps it's more freedom, more time with kids, more martini lunches. And if you like the sound of this, stick around because you are tuning into episode 75, Reflections, where I am making friends with my many personalities as a strategy for growth in business and life. I know it's a little crazy, but stay with me. This will be my 5th Reflections episode. And these Reflections episodes are really something I've committed to publishing every 15 episodes as a look back at my personal growth over the past 15 weeks. But of course, this was a brilliant recommendation from a colleague who has constantly challenged me to evaluate my personal development in smaller growth milestones. And y'all know I love that 10-year vision. But the reality is, the magic actually happens as small wins accumulate as a business owner. And let me tell you, 15 weeks can fly by, yet it can also feel like a lifetime. So as I looked back at the last Reflections episode, I really discussed why going all in is a core value of mine. And if you haven't had a chance to catch up on that last one, be sure to head back after this episode. That would be episode 60. I shared a really fun story about my dad challenging me to really show up on the soccer field and in life like I was 100% all in or not at all. And that is quite a relevant story as I'll be sharing with you some of the powerful work I've been doing to prepare myself emotionally to scale my business beyond its next $1 million mark. This all stemmed from a conversation I had with my own business coach about feeling overwhelmed. Yes, I work with a business coach. After hearing this episode, I hope you will too if you're not already doing so. Basically, I had a ton of SHIT on my plate. I was definitely overwhelmed. And intellectually, I realized that this is all on my plate because I've overcommitted and I've essentially placed it there. And I'm a recovering perfectionist, so all the things can't be C work. I've got to throw some A's and B's in there, right? Who feels me there? And I created the mess I was in. And that in itself, probably above all of it, was frustrating me the most. And I was telling myself, Kaylee, you're not focused. You're not managing your time well. And I was telling myself I was a fraud because after all, I spend half of my days teaching other people how to create boundaries to protect their time, independence, and sanity. Yet here I was buried in to-dos. And they were all important. So here I am counting down the minutes to my power hour with my business coach. And you can imagine me and my overachieving ambition sitting erect, pen in hand, journal open to a fresh page, ready for my action plan. I already knew we're going to brain dump and categorize and prioritize my tasks. And I mean, this is a really valuable exercise and one I do on the regular with clients. I was ready to rock this. And then my coach asked me why I was feeling so overwhelmed by everything. And what seemed so obvious to me, I don't know, I'm hiring a new employee, launching a private podcast, creating a workshop for an upcoming conference, building my 2022 business plan, working with clients, creating marketing, managing my team, I could go on. I'll save that part. And anyway, she said, who's telling you that you're overdoing it? And I was dumbfounded. I'm like, me? Yep, that be me. Hand up. But who really is telling you this, Kaylee? Close your eyes. So I closed my eyes and I got really quiet. And I basically imagined myself sitting on a lily pad in a beautiful pond. Don't ask, but it was like, if you've seen The Notebook, the movie The Notebook, it was in that beautiful pond area where he takes her on the canoe. And anyway, it was in this sanctuary. And then she said to me, "Who's that talking to you? Is it someone else or is it you?" And I said, "It's me." And then she asked, "Which you? Which version of you is telling yourself that you need to tackle all of these things right away?" And while my eyes were still closed, I heard her voice. It was me, but a different version of me. The version of me that felt hungry for more. The version of me that felt like I had to do all these things or I couldn't get ahead. And I really just started diving a little bit deeper into that girl, listening to her voice and having a conversation with that sort of old version of myself. And it was the young girl in me as a new sales rep, working for Bayer Healthcare, my first big girl job, hustling to climb the corporate ladder. That girl was a sponge. She was learning. She was hungry for growth. She was eager and willing to make any sacrifice to be seen and respected. She was longing for significance. And going through that exercise, I suddenly realized that I was no longer her. Of course, I'm still Kaylee, but a different version of her. I'm a new person and I have an evolved personality. I didn't need to be that girl anymore. I had become an accomplished woman who was clear, decisive, and in control, but I let my old personality take the steering wheel for a moment. And it was time to really think about all of the different versions of myself that while they were no longer useful as the CEO of my company, they were still very powerful influences in my life and really were a critical part of who I had become. Instead of pushing those voices away, I would learn to embrace them, listen to them, and really identify which personality was trying to speak up. In this case, it was my younger professional self sending reminders about what it took to become who I needed to be 15 years ago. And she no longer serves me now. But rather than ignoring or eliminating that voice, I can look back and say, "Thank you for hooking me up with so many powerful character traits that positively influence who I am today." Some of them being grit, determination, and vision. And there are times I may need to go back and get encouragement from that version of myself to persevere, to conquer imposter syndrome, and to be acutely disciplined in a given moment. I'm thankful for her, and I'm also thankful for who I have become. So I wanted to share this little story with you because you may be feeling overwhelmed or challenged by something right now. Maybe you have a big presentation, an event, or a training coming up. Or maybe you've already made or getting ready to make a very risky or scary decision and you're doubting yourself. So I urge you to get quiet and have this kind of conversation with that personality of yours that is trying to protect you. Who is she? Or maybe it's an outside influence. Let that voice pass through and lean into the evolved, calm, confident, experienced woman you are and trust yourself. Befriend your multiple personalities and learn how each of them can serve you best to support you on your journey for epic impact in the world as you curate your life story. I hope that hearing the story has been helpful for you and that you take some time this week to really think to yourself, who is saying that as the voices fly across your mind? As you can see, there are tactics, i.e. my to-do list dump. And then there are beliefs and mindset landmines that, when not adequately addressed and processed, can create sneaky little roadblocks. It's true. And this is truly the power of working with a coach. Believe it or not, your business can actually outgrow you. This is where you feel like your business is growing out of your strategic control. This is where disjointed tactics and overspending to fill energy gaps starts to occur. And if you as a business owner are not working on developing yourself, another version of you, nurturing your new CEO personality, really another version of you could be holding you back from taking your business and life to its final transformation. And working with a trusted advisor really allows you to think through your processes. It challenges you to ask why and dissect your decisions, and really creating options with calculated, anticipated outcomes. Coaching work gives you a clearer perspective to allow you to make decisions with confidence and approach problems with focus and intention. And this is the kind of powerful work we do inside of our POP Leadership Academy. This program has been developed based on tactical and practical wisdom I have learned over the past decade of mentoring, advising, and consulting with hundreds of the continent's top aesthetic and wellness practices. And these are individuals who have built and scaled multi-million-dollar businesses. They're researchers, authors, clinical and business thought leaders, and experts at their craft. They're also small, gritty, and ambitious founders who didn't have all the resources at their fingertips, but were determined to cross the next million-dollar milestone in their business with decisive fluidity. Our graduates are providers, practice owners, and leaders. And while they may have different job titles, they share a nuanced set of powerful leadership skills that have allowed them to elevate to the top 2% of aesthetic businesses. Say no more. These are powerful and disruptive leaders in their industries who make up a cohort of like-minded people who share a unique passion and ambition. So listen, if you've been underwhelmed with the Done For You consulting and you're ready to explore this type of coaching that has truly transformed both me, my life, my business, and also our academy clients, absolutely, if you are ready to step into your next level, head to klcconsultants.com/PLA-info. I'll hook that up in the notes as well below to learn more about our Leadership Academy. So I hope this quick reflections episode may be helpful for you. Maybe you need to go back and listen to it again, or take some time to really think through and jot down, who are those versions of yourself? Who would those past personalities be that are talking to you, that are creating these voices in your head, that maybe looking out for you? They have your best interest in mind. They want to protect you. And they're also the personalities that have made you who you are, that has created the space for you to be capable of what you have accomplished in your life. But listen, take some time this week to think about who's saying that as those voices fly across your mind. You're here for a reason, and your mission is valued and needed, and your purpose doesn't need an explanation. You are ready for this. Okay, leader, have a wonderful week, and I will see you next time. Thank you for joining me for this episode of The Fierce Factor. If you enjoyed the show, please make sure you subscribe so you can automatically get new shows every week. I'd also love it if you left us a review. And come join the conversation online. If you're an aesthetic industry owner, operator, or leader, please join my free Facebook group, The Tribe of Fierce Aesthetic Leaders, a community of ambitious, purpose-driven professionals who collaborate and share best practices for growth in business and life. I'm honored you tuned in.